Yo, what is going on, guys? So we got a video here of a lady who's not too happy about the way that Chads are treating her. So let's see what she has to say.
Time. What is the number one thing holding you back from dating again? 99% of guys are undateable. 99% of guys pretend to be someone they're not the first few months and break your heart later. 99% of guys use up and waste your time.
Yeah, guys, so apparently 99% of men are undateable, right? But that's okay because on today's show, gentlemen, we're going to be looking at some dating advice from the women themselves to see that what we should be doing to be dateable and worthy guys. So we're going to be cracking into that today. But before we do, gentlemen, if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in and come and join the Discord and the locals links in the description. Both are totally free to join, and if you'd like to support the channel, there's an option for that through locals. But guys, it's okay. 99% of us are undateable, apparently, and, we're not worthy of these ladies out here. But we're going to get some fantastic dating advice today, so let's see what the women have to say.
Are not looking at men as piggy banks. However, it does benefit you to be chivalrous toward a woman because the reality is you can be an average guy and end up dating a woman who's out of your league if you simply have enough respect to court her.
Yeah, guys, so apparently chivalry is the answer. Now, to my men who are watching this who have been out there dating, how does the chivalry go for you? I'm interested to know. Okay? I'm interested to know how the chivalry goes. That may sound like good advice on the surface. Oh, treat people nice and they're going to treat you nice back. Like, it sounds like maybe some common sense there. You've grown up with that advice. Sounds like some common sense could be right, but it couldn't be further from the truth. Okay, you want to go out here, you want to be chivalrous, you want to pay for those $100 dinner dates and spoil her so that she'll spoil you. Good luck to you, my friend. So, we're 0 for 1 right now on the advice, but let's see what else.
Because women who are an 8 or a 9 would rather date a guy who's a 6 if that guy makes her feel like a queen. In return, you'll end up with a girl who treats you like the biggest man on campus and probably makes your friends jealous too.
Yeah, guys, so apparently just open up the wallets, and that's going to be the key to our salvation there. You want to date some of these girls out here, you just got to... Guys, the solution is simple. Apparently, you just open your wallets, right? Goodness me, but we got a longer one here today, and this is probably the worst of the two videos. No shade intended at the lady. YouTube, don't strike the damn channel, right? But here we've got some real good advice. We've got some real good advice. Let's have a look at this.
I saw a video where a guy was talking about things girls do that guys find attractive, so I thought I'd do the reverse version. So I guess both genders find this attractive, but saying someone's name, saying a girl's name, promise you, she loves that shit.
Saying a girl's name is an effective dating strategy, apparently. Guys, goodness gracious me. When I watch these videos, when we go through them together, which, by the way, leave your thoughts as we're going through these. Girls, when they give dating advice, look, we could say it comes from a good place, fantastic, it's good that you're giving input and all that, but it doesn't work. Okay? None of the advice that girls give, as far as dating goes, it doesn't work. Girls live in an entirely different damn dimension insofar as dating. There's that interesting graph that goes around, right, which, talks about SMV value and, how men get more attractive as they get older. Women peak in attractiveness while they're younger. There is something to be said about that, okay? But please understand that these women out here who are dating have it far easier than you ever will. And what I mean by that is they have a lot more options. They have more options than you will ever experience in your life. Okay, and what that means is when they give dating advice, they can't. They absolutely can't because they have no idea what it is like for the average man to be out there dating. Absolutely no idea. Their perception of how dating works is so disconnected from the man's experience, it is unreal. So what you're doing when you ask girls like this for dating advice is you're flipping a coin, rolling a dice is probably more accurate, right? You're rolling a dice and just hoping it lands on like one of the 6 numbers, and if it does, well, it's just luck. Okay, but the rest of the time you're going to get terrible dating advice. And I don't say that to be condescending to the ladies out here who are trying to give dating advice or anything like that. It's just that they don't have any idea what it's like. Okay, so it's all well and good for them to sit there and say, "Hey, you should lead with some chivalry. Women appreciate chivalry." Like, but that's just not the case. Let's continue and see what else we got aside from saying her name if you want her to like you.
Another thing is being a little bit jealous. Like, not like psychotic, but like little things that you could say that would be like whatever, it's really hot, trust me. Also,
Like, what even is that, man? So we're supposed to say her name to make her like us. Okay, that's some BS, right? And then we're supposed to feign a little bit of jealousy. Can someone please make that make sense to me? Because it makes absolutely no sense. And a lot of times as well, when these girls are giving this advice, they're also considering it from the perspective of the men that they're actually attracted to. You got these girls out here, and they're only attracted to the small top percentage of men, okay? And they're the only ones that the girls want. Okay, so what they're doing is, whatever they say, it can work if you look good. Let me just put it to you that way. Okay, so when girls say, "Oh, I'd like it if a man does this or that," guys who are very attractive to women, they can afford to be chivalrous here and there. It's not going to break the bank, right? They're going to still stick around with Chad even if he shows some weakness here or there, right? But it just, most of this crap will make absolutely no sense, right? But this next point I think is actually like one of the only ones that's semi-okay. Let's have a look.
a guy who takes care of himself. So hygiene, they care about how their hair looks, they care about the kind of clothes they wear. Trust me, fire.
And that's the first bit of like semi-constructive advice right there, which is do your best to make yourself look better. Okay, okay, sure, that has some merit to it. All right. But notice how we're what are we now? So we're freaking. She said 2 points that make absolutely no sense, and one that makes some kind of sense. But I feel like that was just a bit of luck. So let's see what else she's got for us.
Eye contact, eye contact, eye contact. Whether it's like an across the room kind of thing or like face to face, look into their fucking eyes. Okay, trust me, it's like mesmerizing. And then last.
Yeah, guys, just look into her eyes from across the room. Right? Okay. Now, if she's attracted to you, oh, that'll work fine. Great, good for you. Okay. But if you're a man who's not too attractive, right? And when I say not too attractive, I mean not one of the top men. Okay. That is creepy. All right. You don't just like look. You have to be cognizant of the fact that when girls say that, oh yeah, I want a guy who does this, this, and this. You've got to understand that if you copy these behaviors onto two separate men, and you've got an attractive guy and you've got, a not so attractive guy, if the behavior remains the same, it'll be creepy on the guy who's not attractive and it'll be fine on the guy who's attractive. You see? Because guys who are attractive, especially if you've seen like celebrity clips and stuff like that, celebrities can get away with doing the most creepy behavior you've ever seen in your damn life. But if you put that onto the average man, I mean, good luck to the average man, right? You wouldn't. He might be behind bars pretty quickly if you see what I'm saying. Okay, so when girls describe these sorts of behaviors, I mean, Chad can get away with those sorts of behaviors, but a lot of the times, if you do those as an average guy, oh, you're creepy. You're going to be perceived as creepy. And look, here's the thing: you want to strike out and be creepy? Okay, fine. Right, like you shoot your shot. If you're creepy, you're creepy. If you're not, you're not. But also consider this, right? There are legal repercussions for being a creeper, first of all, and second of all, what girls will do if you hit on them and they don't like it or they find you unattractive. A lot of the times, what they'll actually do is publicly shame you. So let's just say you're a guy who's unattractive and you work up the confidence to go and ask a girl out, and maybe you get her a gift or something like that. She's going to treat it as though you've disrespected her, and then she's going to show her other friends and have a laugh about you behind your back kind of thing. Men who upfront give their commitment when the girl doesn't want it, they get shamed for it. Now, you can choose to not believe that if you want. That's totally up to you, but that's the truth, to be honest. So let's see what else she's got for us, and I'm just flicking between the wrong screens.
Lastly, finding little reasons to be like touching the girl. You think we don't notice, but we do. Like the lower back thing when you're walking by, or when you're sitting next to them, like the thighs touching. It's such a small thing, but it's so attractive, and we know.
That is just such terrible advice, I don't know even where to begin. Guys, if you're going out and you're doing that, expecting good responses, okay, here's the thing. If you're a man and you're unattractive and you're going out and doing that, don't, okay? Because the thing is, a lot of girls are going to treat it as though there are legal repercussions to that, is what I will say. Okay, these girls will sit on here and they'll say videos and make these videos, and I believe this was a very popular video too. I'm not too sure about this one in particular, but again, guys, if she is not attracted to you, this kind of behavior is not in your best interests. Okay, it really isn't. It's going to be quite damaging to your dating life, in fact. But guys, we're going to leave the videos there, and actually we've got a couple of articles to jump into momentarily here. Make sure you leave your thoughts on those two videos as we continue with today's show. But goodness me, whenever we look at dating advice, it surely is, it's a little bit of something else, isn't it? Now let's have a look through some of these stories here and see what I've got for you guys. Goodness. Okay, we'll start off with this one. It is titled, "If It's Meant to Be, Then You Wouldn't Be Asking Me for Advice." My mother the other day said this to me, and I thought it was really eye-opening. If a guy is doing something that makes you confused to the point where you start asking others for advice, he's not the one and you are already lost. Doesn't matter if it's something as small as he took too long to text, the one who is right for you will leave no doubt. It will be so easy and natural. No game playing, no wondering where you stand, you will know. If you even have to ask, it's over. Great advice from my queen mother. Now, this may seem like a bit of an ordinary post of a girl, trying to justify her leaving Chad, right? Because all these are girls saying, well, Chad is... How come... You know what? I'll just let the comment speak for itself. Okay, let's have a look at some of these. I think there was a pretty good few in here. That's why all the good advice on relationship subreddits say to dump him. If you're complaining about your relationship online, it's done. Yep, and it isn't to say that the relationship will be perfect, but if you have to go to someone else and can't talk to your own partner, that's a big clue that you're at the beginning of the end. Right? And what you'll notice, right, is all of these girls, they're dating the guys at the top, right? And then they get really frustrated at his behavior and they'll have a bit of a cry about it. But that actually is some good advice, surprisingly enough. Right? This line right here, I think a lot of men could actually learn something from this, right? If it's meant to be, then you wouldn't be asking for advice. Too many men are in relationships or trying to get in relationships pursuing the girl, right? Trying to satisfy her needs, trying to do what she wants. Okay, you do not try and keep people there, guys. It is a waste of your damn time. Your time will be far better used doing other stuff. Because a lot of time you're gonna get hooked up in petty drama. It's not going to help you at all, and it's just in general a waste of your time. But today's first big Reddit story, let's have a bit of a look at this, because we talk a lot about female nature and how that can kind of affect you. But something we don't talk about is how the men kind of might interfere as well. So let's have a look at this. My 21-year-old male ex, who's a 21-year-old female, and I broke up over a year ago. I just found out that shortly after the breakup, she messaged my best friend, who was 22, saying she made a mistake and asking if I still cared for her. He told her I was completely over her and proceeded to try and get with her. This is a very complicated situation, and I wasn't sure how to title it, but that's pretty much the gist of it. I'm looking for advice on whether so long after this has happened, I should message her and clear the air in a way. First, I'll start with some context of my friend and my ex. My ex struggled with her mental health and specifically self-sabotage. We were together for 2 years. When she ended it, I was devastated. She just ended it with a text and ghosted me. It made no sense, as just a few days before, we had brought up the topic of marriage, which I was on board for when we had graduated. We are both in college and are going for master's degrees. The best friend and I have been close for over 10 years. He was my oldest best friend. We have been there for each other through thick and thin. I never would have expected a situation like this. After learning of all the things he had done, I completely cut him out of my life. Gentlemen, we talk, like I said at the beginning of this story here, we talk a lot about, and we're going to continue with the story in a moment. We talk a lot about female nature over here, okay? And, some of the things that you should be careful for if you're a guy who's choosing to date. And sometimes we have a bit of a laugh, okay? But something we don't talk about nearly enough on this channel is that, look, your friends are not necessarily always your friends either, okay? And as sad as that is to say, a lot of men will turn on you in order to get with your girl and stuff like that. Okay, and that's a really concerning prospect. And look, it leads you to believe, and this is true here, okay? And this is kind of a sad point that I want to make is, if you're a dude, society really doesn't give a crap about you. They really don't. And what I mean by that is, like, nobody really cares, guys. It's like your friends, in order to get with your girl, will do shady behavior like this, and your girl is always going to be keeping her eye out for the next best option, notwithstanding any unicorn girl, which, don't hang out for that. Okay, a lot of times, guys, like, society doesn't give a crap about this sort of stuff. You're just expected to kind of deal with it as a dude. So, if you're going out there dating and doing this sort of thing, it's very important that you kind of surround yourself with the people who you can actually trust. Okay, and that's a very difficult thing to do in 2021 with the rise of social media and stuff like that. Everyone's just out here looking for the next best thing, it seems, which is very sad to see. But let's continue with the story. About 2 months ago, I started my first relationship with a new woman since my first ex. After a month, she cheated, so I left. About a week ago, she sent me a screen recording of my friend messaging her, asking to get together. She apparently had the decency to turn him down and warn me of my friend. This had me wondering if he had tried it before. I met him for lunch and asked him if he had talked to this recent ex. He lied and said no. When I showed him the proof, I told him I knew about everything he had done and wanted to hear it from his mouth. He confessed. Next, I asked him to tell me about what he had done with my first ex, still claiming that I knew when in reality it was just a hunch. He told me that just a month after we had broken up, she sent him a message telling him she had made a mistake and asking him if I would be willing to take her back. He was my roommate and best friend at the time, so it makes sense why she should test the waters with him. He responded to her by saying that I was already completely over her and had moved on. In fact, he proceeded to try hook up with her. I'm assuming this is why he told her the lie. She inevitably turned him down. She was never interested in him in the slightest. But she obviously believed him because since the breakup I have still never received a single message from her. Considering he was my best friend, from her point of view she probably thought I was not only over her, but had given him the go-ahead to pursue her, which obviously was not the case at all. Guys, if someone does this sort of stuff to you, does these sorts of terrible behaviors, one of the stupidest things you can do, one of the worst things you can do, is to try and sit down with them and have a discussion. This is something I bring up on the channel quite a few times because it seems necessary to bring up every story that we go over. But a lot of the times when you're looking for closure, guys, it's not even worth it. It really isn't. When people do this kind of behavior to you, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to go over or fix. There's nothing to understand. Right? Your question has been satisfied. You just leave the situation. A lot of guys, what you want to do is, let's just say a relationship ends. You'll get men who will think to themselves, well, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to try and see what happened or talk it out and that kind of stuff, because like when relationships end, a lot of times men don't actually know what's happened. Okay? Because men get the short end of the stick insofar as the end of dates, end of relationships and stuff like that going, and guys don't always know what the hell actually happened to them. But if you're a guy who watches this sort of content, or you're a little bit alert of this kind of stuff, you already know what it is, guys. Like, don't bother trying to get closure from these girls. I mean, half the time they're going to lie to you anyway. It's just going to be a crappy situation for you to go through. If people disrespect you like this, just leave the situation where it is and just don't talk to them ever again. Now, I feel like I'm faced with the decision of letting this girl that, if we were being honest, I still care for, of course you do, know the truth. Or living with the fact that she probably thinks the last 2 years we spent together was a complete lie, and that I cared about her so little I was okay with my friend trying to get with her. What should I do? As I mentioned, I cut out the friend of my life completely, and other than the utter betrayal that hurts me to my soul, I am no longer concerned with him. My ex, too long didn't read, my ex and I broke up over a year ago. I just found out that shortly after the breakup she wanted to come back, so she messaged my best friend to test the waters. He lied to her in an attempt to get with her. Now she is probably under the assumption that I never cared about her for over a year since we broke up. Do I message her and clear the air after so long? The answer to that question is no. Okay, this guy just clearly wants to get back with her. It's just a waste of time. And he's probably, the worst part about this is he's probably sitting here, right? He is sitting here thinking about, oh, well, what if she just messages me? What can we talk it out? Can we kind of fix it? Make no mistake, this girl is with some other guy. I don't care who it is, but she's with another guy. She's interested in another guy. You coming out of left field and saying, oh, hey, I just wanted to clarify that I really do care about you. She's not going to care, dude. Like who cares? Like she's on to the next thing, right? It's just don't even bother with this stuff, man. It's such a waste of time to try and go and salvage these situations. Too many guys, what guys want to do a lot of the time is to try and salvage situations with girls. Don't try and salvage situations with girls. Just find new girls. If you're interested in dating, don't try and repair and emotionally fix and explain yourself or get her to explain or do any of this crap. It's a waste of your time. You can go out and test it if you want, but it's better just to set up a whole new situation. Any kind of experience that you have, gentlemen, you may think that you're in love and that she was the one. There's gonna be a one after that. Okay, like it's such a waste of time. Guys waste so much time on this stuff. I can't even begin to explain. But we're going to wrap up today's show with one final story here. So hopefully this is the first one. But this is something that maybe a lot of you guys can relate to. So let's have a look. And let me just scroll up a slide bit here. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. There's no passion. So this is a relationship with two people who were previously married. I believe he ended the marriage in his story. But anyway. There's no passion anymore. I tried the new things, but she's not interested. I'm a dumb idiot and believed getting engaged would fix things. Then I believed moving in together would fix things, mostly because that's exactly what she told me. And shocker, the bedroom is still dead. I'm running out of the next steps to fix anything. I'm still miserable. We've talked about it many times before and nothing has changed. So I gave her an ultimatum 3 months ago that I couldn't stay in a relationship with her if we didn't work on this. I told her we could try counseling or whatever made her comfortable to get her back to the level of intimacy that I needed. She initiated the fun once after that, and even though it was fun, it hasn't been replicated. She's not interested in counseling. Our wedding date is in a little over a year. I'm just so ready to call it off because I don't want to be like this forever. This is the only serious relationship I've known, but like they can't all be like this. Am I right? I don't know, I just need to know if I'm doing the right thing. It sucks to see my friends being with people who want them and feeling desirable. They tell me I'm being selfish, which is probably true, but yeah, I don't know. No, you're not being selfish. Okay, it seems, when relationships, particularly as they become, long, shall we say, so let's just say over a few months and stuff like that, the later kind of relationships, what tends to happen is the man's needs or desires in a relationship typically get pushed to the end, right? Because the girl starts to slowly realize, okay, well, this guy hasn't leave me, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start dangling bedroom fun and, nice behaviors in front of him like a carrot in order to get him to do chores and do this kind of stuff and all this. Because you as a man, your desires get shoved to the end of a relationship. You will notice a lot of the time, particularly this is something really insidious. Okay, if you're an older gentleman, right, a lot of the times you're going to be dating women who have dated a bunch of guys and stuff like that, and they're actually coming to you, and they'll be nice and they'll be playful and they'll love you and they'll do all these fantastic things. They'll cook for you. They'll do all these things off the bat. Okay, but then once you're kind of in the relationship, she knows you won't leave, and once you know that you start talking about marriage or engagement, maybe you've got a couple of kids on the way, then all of this fun stuff will start to dry up because she knows that she has you. She knows that she has you, so why the hell would she do this? Okay, and this is a really messed up thing to say, and a lot of guys, if they're in marriages and long-term relationships, they don't want to hear stuff like that because it's offensive to them. Right? How dare you, insinuate that my wife or my girlfriend is doing it this way? Guys, you can continue to go to therapy if you want to, or counseling, right? You can continue to try and get these things to work. But if the girl is not attracted to you, if she sees no reason to, then she's not going to do it. And she's going to lie and, go to your little counseling sessions, but they're not going to do anything. In fact, a lot of times these counseling sessions, all they are is to increase the demands of the man, like what's required of the man, in order to get those things. It's particularly if you go to a girl a girl counselor and stuff like that, what you're going to notice is you as the man will be disadvantaged in that situation because the things that she's missing will be used against you. So she'll go, oh, well, he's not helping around the house and that's why I don't do it because I feel underappreciated. Or he's not giving me enough attention and, we don't do date nights anymore, so you're going to be required to take her to even more date nights even though you probably already have been. right? It's just it's what's going to happen is they're going to stack up things that you need to provide, while your needs just get completely ignored. That's what's going to happen. Let's keep going. The anxiety of ending it has really gotten to me. My anxiety has gotten bad as it has been. I've struggled with this with certain things before, but it hasn't been this bad since high school. Typing it all out makes it so obvious, but damn, this sucks. I don't think she's a bad person. I don't dislike her, but I'm damn sure she'll dislike me. I just don't want to be roommates with somebody forever. I miss feeling desired. Yeah, you and a lot of men. Okay, and I don't mean that in as rude as it came off right there, but a lot of guys are starting to realize, hey, all this fun stuff, a lot of there's a very small percentage of men who are getting it, and the rest of the men are getting treated like crap, being suckered into situations where half their possessions get taken or their kids and stuff like that get taken. It's not all for most men, dating relationships are not overall an enjoyable experience for most guys. Now you've got anomalies here and there. Right, you've got the relationships that last for years, out of the blue. We all know those like high school sweethearts, but for the most part, gentlemen, it's really not like that at all. Men have it really crappy in dating, and I don't say that to throw a pity party. It's just that a lot of men get themselves into these situations, and they think that it's something that they're doing wrong. Right, a lot of guys will think, oh well, I'm doing this wrong. I need to do more. I need to do this stuff to try and fix the situation. And this is the part two to that article that we just read. Right, so this one right here, and this is his update. The night after I made the original post, we got into a fight. She got home, and before telling me hello, kissing me, anything, she started walking around telling me about the mess I'd left her and I needed to clean it up. It was like 2 soda cans and a shirt on the floor. That was kind of the final straw. We ended up breaking it off that night. She told me we could work on the fun. I told her that I've heard that one before. I've been living at home with my parents. We've decided to sell the house, and after that, I'll get my own place. It sucks right now. I don't think I'll miss being with her because I don't have any desire to go back. I just haven't been alone in years. It's weird. My self-esteem is quite bad at the moment, and my anxiety is running wild. But I'll be looking at therapy to get that sorted. Thank you to everyone who commented on my original post and some kind DMs I got. I knew what I needed to do. I just needed a push. When I'm ready, I'm excited to get back out there. That's fantastic to see. I love these stories, man, where the guy doesn't get dragged through all of these terrible things, and he actually has the backbone to leave. Right? A lot of men will stay in these situations because, oh, well, she's just she's the one or whatever. Guys, don't be sitting there trying to make stuff work with a girl that doesn't want to be there. It's such a waste of your energy, and a lot of men, like, they drain themselves over it. But it's good to see that this guy's, excited to get back out there and go about his life again and not go back to her, which is really good to see, because too many men get caught up in trying to stay with the girl and trying to please her and stuff like that. I'm happy that this guy left. Good for him. But gentlemen, we're going to leave today's video there. A bit of a ranty one. As always, make sure you leave your thoughts and comments below of any of the topics that we covered today. Goodness me, I'm still thinking about the dating advice that the girl gave earlier in the video. That was pretty terrible. But we're going to call it there. Make sure you come and join the Locals and the Discord, links in the description if you haven't already. If you'd like to support, Locals is a fantastic way to do that. And we're going to leave it there. As always, gentlemen, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will see you boys in the next video. Peace.